Hey guys, this is Joshua Peterson with Peterson Electric. I want to talk to you today about baseboard heaters and how they work. Basically, this is a one-off of a 2-footer I just gutted, and it's a little beat up from my hammer, but there's aluminum fins in here. And these aluminum fins radiate the heat. Inside here, there's going to be basically a rod, and that's going to be wrapped around with some ceramic tubing like a stone. And once the voltage hits there, 120 and 120, it creates 240 volts. It's basically a dead short. But there's so much resistance in this, it doesn't break the breaker. So basically, in a nutshell, these little baseboard heaters have about 200 watts per foot. This is about a 400 watt element. There are some that I'm gutting upstairs that are 8 foot and 10 foot long. So as you do the math, that's about 2,000 watts at a 10 footer. And one thing about baseboard heaters is they work really well, but this guy's 40 years old. And when they're 40 years old, what happens inside is sometimes the ceramic tube in there breaks in the element, so therefore you're not getting any continuity. And when you don't have that continuity or resistance, it's not heating nothing. But if they are not broken and there is no sense of ohms or open resistance, then basically right here, you're going to get yourself a current running through this. And that current creates heat by radiating off of the fins. The problem is that as they age, they don't heat as well. They're not efficient. It's not like getting a new appliance and having more an efficient motor. But inside of here, the ceramic tube is not aged as much. And the more one area of the house, like the living room or bedroom, is used, the more, for instance, the basement not as much, you're going to end up spending a lot of money on electricity to get really low results on your heat. So you want to make sure that when you're doing your baseboard heaters, change them out. Don't gut out the inside and try to redo it. They have a UL listing for them. Buy the whole unit. And you got to make sure you're replacing like for like. If you go and put extra long feet on there, you got to do your math. You got to make sure that that circuit's going to hold you at 240 volts based on the amount of linear foot per watt. And if you don't, you're going to put in too big of a heater on there and blowing your breaker. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week.